Folks, I was just watching my local news here in Texas, and it was announced that the two officers that killed Alton Sterling are not going to face any charges by the state of Louisiana. Now, it was already determined by the Department of Justice that they were not going to pursue any charges against these two officers, and the state attorney general from Louisiana stated that the officers operated within the law. It's funny how whenever a black person is shot and killed, that the officers are always operating within the law. When Philippe Castillo was shot and killed, sitting in his car, doing nothing unlawful or illegal, that officer also was not charged because he was, quote unquote, operating within the law. When the child in Cleveland was shot and killed for playing with a toy gun, the officers were not charged because they were operating within the law. When John Crawford, shopping in Walmart and holding a toy rifle in an open carry state, was shot and killed, the officers were operating within the law. It's apparent to me that the law does nothing to protect black people. The law was designed to allow police to kill black people and face no sanctions, no criminal charges, because the law, is apparent to me, was designed to allow this. To state that a person standing outside of a convenience store, well known to the owner, not brandishing a weapon, okay, not brandishing a weapon, is accosted by police and killed while he is on the ground, okay, obviously wrestling with two police officers, but at no time did he have his hand on a weapon or have a weapon exposed, but is killed. But they did everything according to the law. Well, folks, as far as I'm concerned, the law is bullshit. When a little kid is outside of a community center, okay, running around, and cops take 2 seconds to exit their vehicle and kill him, but they are operating within the law, something is wrong. When a person is shopping in Walmart and happens to be in the sporting goods section and pulls out a rifle, a toy rifle that he may or may not have been purchasing for one of his kids, and the cops run in there and shoot him without warning, and I do mean without warning, but they are operating within the law, folks, something is wrong with the law. This is getting stupid, and it's been that way for a long time. And that's not even to mention that the police killed Stephon Clark up in Sacramento because they thought he had a gun, which turned out to be a cell phone. Folks, a gun in no way, shape, or form looks like a cell phone. A cell phone is a flat item. It's not bulky. It doesn't have any kind of an opening. It's flat. You cannot confuse a cell phone with a gun. I am sorry. The only way that these officers are able or are going to be able to get away with this is because they thought they were in fear of their lives from what they thought was a gun, but was in actuality a cell phone. Well, folks, if you do the same thing, if you turn around and shoot somebody at night with a cell phone in their hand, your asses are going to jail. Plain and simple. They don't care. All right? And it doesn't matter that you're not actually trained to recognize a weapon, which the police supposedly are. Okay? Doesn't matter. You can't use that as a defense. But the police can, and they have training to recognize weapons. Yet, time and time again, they are getting off. And I'm talking about white police and brown police, because the black police don't get off. You have two policemen in the same state of Louisiana which were pursuing a white guy who happened to have a child in the backseat of his car. He had a weapon on him. They fired, and unfortunately they struck and killed the child. Well, guess what? Those two guys are going to jail. Well, going to jail. One of them's going to jail. One of them's already in jail, and he's doing 20 years. 20 years. Okay? You had an Asian police officer in New York who shot and killed a man just walking down the steps in a New York project. And he got probation. No manslaughter, no murder, probation. You have a Hispanic cop who shot and killed a man sitting in his car, legally in possession of a firearm, announces to the officer that he has a firearm in the car. The officer obviously panics, shoots and kills him, and he faces no ramifications. Folks, what is justice? Apparently, it's two different things depending on the color of your skin. If you're a black officer and you shoot a woman who approaches your vehicle, you are arrested, you're going to be tried and convicted, more than likely, of at least manslaughter, if not murder. If you're a white officer and you shoot and kill a man for no reason other than he is selling CDs, you get off. I'm just wondering, what is it actually going to take for black people to get justice when it comes to these police shootings? Is it going to take police officers being gunned down out of fear, the fear of black people being gunned down themselves by police? Is that what it's going to take? Police, more than not, never take the time to observe situations when black people are involved. They come on the scene, they see a black person involved, and they jump out and immediately pull out their weapons and want to rain a hail of bullets down on people. You've had rogue police officers that have driven through public parks where people have been congregating, celebrating the 4th of July or just picnicking in general, pull out their weapons and start shooting for no reason whatsoever. That particular officer, again, faced no charges. So I just ask you, what is it going to take for us to back these goddamn police up and actually make them observe situations before they come charging in like Rambo to quote unquote save the day? Half of these police officers, and I do mean half, are in constant fear for their lives. And if they're in so much fear for their lives, they shouldn't have the damn job. But that's the excuse that they're given every single time something like this occurs. And in my opinion, every last one of them is coached. If something happened, the first words out of your mouth are you were in fear for your life, or you saw a gun, or some other felonious excuse. But that in fear for your life and you saw a gun, those are the first two words out of every police officer's mouth anytime something like this goes down. And I believe that those excuses should no longer be valid for any police officer in America. If you are in fear for your life and there is no weapon, you got a problem, buddy, or you at least should have a problem, buddy. Now, don't get me wrong, if there are actual guns in evidence, and I'm not even saying fired, I'm saying if there is an actual gun there, yes. If I see a gun, would that put me in fear for my life? Yes. But I'm not going to imagine that I saw a gun. I'm not going to make up a bullshit story that I saw a gun. But that's what these police across the country are allowed to do. They're allowed to make up bullshit stories that they saw a gun, that they were in fear for their lives. Even when individuals are on the ground with two police officers seeking to control them, apparently they're still in fear for their lives. Folks, this shit's got to stop. And it's got to stop quick, or I hate to say it, but we need to take matters in our own hands and basically be in fear for our lives. And I believe that we are in fear for our lives from the police a lot more than they are in fear for their lives from us.